All right, there are different ways we can use the sum and difference formulas. So this is one way to be aware of that you might see on a test. Suppose we need to find the sine of pi over 12 by using a sum or difference formula. So to do that, we should be aware of different angle values we could use. Now, these are all first quadrant. We could use other quadrants as well. Say, for example, we could take 5 pi 6 and subtract 3 pi 4. So that would still give us a pi 12th angle. So that would give us other combinations of angles besides the two that I'm showing you here. So anyway, to get our pi 12ths with a denominator of 12, I've taken our basic angles, pi thirds, pi fourths, pi 6, and changed them to denominators of 12. So pi thirds is 4 pi 12ths, pi fourths is 3 pi 12ths, pi 6 is 2 pi 12ths. All I've done is multiply by like 4 over 4 to get that answer, or multiplied by 3 over 3 to get that answer, or multiplied by 2 over 2 to get that answer, right? So common denominators. So then we figure out ways that we can use those numbers to get pi over 12. So with just these numbers, without considering other quadrants, there are two ways we can do that. 4 pi 12ths minus 3 pi 12ths, or 3 pi 12ths minus 2 pi 12ths. Right? And remember that 4 pi 12ths minus 3 pi 12ths is actually pi thirds minus pi fourths. And 3 pi 12ths minus 2 pi 12ths is actually pi fourths minus pi sixths. So that's where these answers have come from. So taking these two possibilities with our sine difference formula, I have the sine of pi thirds minus the sine of pi fourths, which gives me sine of pi thirds cosine pi fourths minus cosine pi thirds sine pi fourths. Or I could use sine of pi fourths minus pi sixths, which gives me sine of pi fourths cosine pi sixths minus cosine pi fourths sine pi sixths. So this just really requires that you know those sum and difference formulas. It could be the cosine ones instead of the sine ones. So don't forget that cosine is quite a bit different because you've got your cosine alpha plus beta. Cosine is the cocky one. It likes to put itself first. Oh, cocky, I got distracted. So cosine alpha, cosine beta. It's also contrary, so if this is a plus, this is a minus. Just make sure you know the formulas. So this is just to kind of explain what the question is asking and how you would go about doing it. So anyway, these two work, but there are other ways that would work as well. Like I said, we could do a 5 pi 6 minus a 3 pi 4th, and we could still get the pi 12ths that way. So there are really many ways that we could come up with a pi 12ths using a combination of subtracting values. If it was a bigger number than pi 12ths, there might also be a way we could add them to get that number. So if you were given a multiple choice question that had 3 ways that work and 1 way that does not, the idea behind it is that you have to choose the one that does not give the right answer.